Good morning. So I am with NBKC Bank. I'm going to assume that stands for National Bank of Kansas City. I have an online account because obviously I'm not in Kansas City. And I've had, like, most of my experiences with this bank have been good, but there are a lot of drawbacks and I've had some issues. But today has to be the leading issue of all issues. So I deposited my tax refund, and I deposited it on Friday during business hours. Before the end of business hours, it was approved. And before I did anything else, before it was approved, I asked them, when will my funds be available? One of the bankers told me it will be available tomorrow if there are no holds. And then I got the notice that my check was approved. And then I did not have my I did not have my funds on Saturday. I went this whole weekend plus another fucking day without my funds. And I'm talking to them right now. The first conversation timed out. And I can just go ahead and close this. So, like I said, it's a tax refund state check. So the first thing they said was like it was a hold from that day, and a 5 business day hold. So I wouldn't get my funds until the 24th. So as you can imagine, that with this most recent thing, after I've checked why I didn't have my funds on Saturday. So as you can imagine, that was a huge inconvenience. And I asked why, and they were like, this is the biggest deposit you've made, and you don't have the funds to compensate in the event the check bounced. And there are apparently government check scams going on. So they want to make sure it's not a scam, I'm presuming. And they did let me have some money, but obviously this isn't good. So I'm like, can I send you pictures of the check stubs? Would that help? And they're like, no, we can't. So I'm like, I'm glad that I contacted them to at least get some money, but like, that's wild. Saying that my funds are approved and then not explaining that there would be not only a hold, but a 5-day hold. Like, the transparency and communication really fell apart on this one. And also, I understand that there's check refund scams, but like, if this is the thing that puts a 5-day business hold on something, then there should be a backup system to have the person be able to verify more. Because in this particular situation, putting a 5-day business hold on top of this 3-day weekend that's doing too much. That's asking way too much. Like, thank goodness I'm not, but if I were in some sort of dire situation, that would be fucking terrible for me. And I'm glad that I'm not in a dire situation. But for me, it's the lack of communication, and like, my day didn't even start off that well, so I'm like, the pissing offs are just piling up right now. I'm glad that they were able to give me some money, so I'm not bashing them for that, but this is an issue that needs to be way more easily resolved than a 5-day business hold. And if there are holds, they need to be transparently addressed so they can be addressed as quickly as possible. Instead of me waiting this whole 3-day weekend to only get some of my funds today, when I was anticipating, first of all, getting them on Saturday, and second of all, getting them on the next business day, which is today. Thank you so much for listening to my bank rant. Take care of yourselves and each other, and have a good day.